I opened it and studied my reflection. My hair was the same but as black as my scales. My skin was alabaster white, the opposite of before. My ears were pointed like a sissie's, but stronger. My eyes, round as ever, had cat-like pupils burning with constant fiery glow, not just when angry. My teeth looked sharp, clearly for meat eating. My face was heart-shaped but longer and narrower, with high cheekbones giving an aristocratic air. My chin was small and delicate, rounding out my attractive features. My nose was small and upturned, lending an innocent look. My lips were dark red, like I wore lipstick. Looking down, I noticed I'd gained a few cup sizes, probably a solid C, and the chair felt more comfortable, hinting my rear had changed too. I wore black, scaly leather armor, black travel boots, and a black cloak, like a wandering traveler's cloak. I need to see this form in a full-length mirror as soon as possible. Yeah, that'll work, I said. Well, we'll have to make sure you get some school uniforms, Selene, Mrs. Carroll remarked, eyeing my clothes. I glanced at Kira, who was already wearing hers. Closing my eyes, I opened them to find myself sitting beside her, dressed in a sleek black version of the uniform. That's the best I can do, I'm afraid. Kira looked at me. I think this will be fine, don't you, Mrs. Carroll? Yeah, I'll make some notes and come up with a reason for you only wearing black, but it should work. Now, from your appearance, you look about 14 or 15 in this shifted form. That means we'll have to assign you a room with the other freshmen on the second floor of Poe Cottage. You'll discuss this later with Mrs. Bellamy, Poe's housemother. I nodded. As long as she stays away from my gold, I'm fine. Your gold? Of course. I need somewhere to rest, I said, shocked. Mrs. Carroll sighed. I forgot to ask earlier. Regarding classes, you'll talk with Fiona Blake about that, you two seem to get along. I assume you're not interested in the usual courses? Actually, I'm interested in business, accounting, things like that. And, of course, flight classes. The rest is mostly magical. I'll pass that along to Fiona so you two can arrange things. Kira suddenly yawned. Mrs. Carroll glanced at the clock. It's getting late. You two should head to Poe Cottage. Kira, you should get to bed as soon as possible. Selene, you'll meet Mrs. Bellamy and settle the rest. Yes, Mrs. Carroll, we answered together. Off you go, then. Hush, hush. As we left the office, Blake, who had told me to call her that, looked surprised. Selene, please stop changing your appearance every few hours. I won't promise anything. I'm still growing, you know? Kira giggled. We walked toward Poe Cottage under the night sky, my eyes lighting the way. Wow, that's a fancy trick you've got there, Kira said. You think so? I don't know, it feels wasted. I can see in the dark anyway. I noticed movement not far ahead, clearly some kind of Siggi, but different. Memories from my species' collective experiences surfaced, revealing she was a drow bred for battle. Reaching out with my mind, I asked, a drowan this time? How is that possible? She tried to block me mentally, but I pushed through easily. Hey, I want to talk. How are you still around? How did you penetrate my mental barrier? What are you? That's complicated. Suddenly, the drow teleported before us. Kira didn't look pleased. Serafina, what do you want now? I'm not here for you, Kira. I need to talk to her, she said, turning to me. What the hell are you? Interesting. Not just a drow, but one of the changed ones? I thought you were all gone by now. Faye, back off. She's not what she seems. I know she's not Siggi. Calm down, Serafina. Our species were allies once. Then why the disguise? If she were truly allied with us, there'd be no need. She hides so no one knows her kind still exists. That would cause trouble. Her kind? She's practically glowing with magic. That disguise won't keep trouble away. Who does she think she is? Annoyed, my eyes flared brighter. You're pretty cocky for a mortal, drow. I glanced at Kira. I like your friend. Is she always this blunt? Calm down, both of you. You're supposed to be friendly. Sorry, Selene, she probably doesn't know what you are, or she'd be more respectful. And you? She pointed at another drow, no, more like a twin of the first. Don't sneak up on her. I recalled some dragons spoke a variation of Siggi with the drow during the war. Trying my best, I mentally said, if you want to know who I am, you'll have to wait until we're somewhere private. What are you? Both drow looked unsettled. Dragon, I replied in drow. Their eyes narrowed as they examined me. If you don't believe me, you'll have to come along, I switched back to English. Kira looked at me. What did you tell her? I used the few drow words I know, in my broken accent. If she wants proof, she has to follow us to a private place. You speak drow? A little, mostly because it's like normal Siggi, but more aggressive and concise. When did you learn that? Her expression showed surprise, she hadn't thought Siggi and drow shared linguistic roots. You know what? Why do you even bother asking? Kira shrugged, confused. Shall we move on? We all nodded. As we headed to Poe Cottage, I noticed the drow twins moved in perfect sync, covering all directions. It was like they were telepathic. To what extent? I'd have to ask them later. When we finally arrived at Poe Cottage, I took in the impressive building, 3 stories high, shaped like an H, and large enough to be a school on its own. Constructed from red bricks, the 3rd floor was styled like an old colonial attic. We entered through double doors, to the right, stairs led up to the 2nd floor, and to the left, down to the basement. In the center of the hallway stood a bust of Edgar Allan Poe. So that's where the name came from, I thought. We followed the corridor left to its end, then turned left again to meet Mrs. Bellamy, the housemother in charge of Poe Cottage. She was clearly expecting us. Could she have used wards to track our arrival? I was sure all the wards were designed to keep outsiders from discovering what was happening inside. Hello, young lady, you must be Selene Ember? Yes, that's me, Mrs. Bellamy. She cast a disapproving glance at Kira and the 2 drow girls. I see you've already found some troublemakers. I suppose you'll be causing mischief as well? I hope not, Mrs. Bellamy, but circumstances might lead that way. I've been told there's something unique about you. Care to explain? Only if we can move to your office, there might be prying ears. And the others? They're fine. The 2 drows especially should stay with us. We passed through a living room and entered Mrs. Bellamy's office. I immediately checked the wards and frowned at what I saw. Mrs. Bellamy, would you mind if I placed a privacy ward? Not that I don't trust yours, but there are obvious holes. I don't want to be listened to from outside. I glanced at the drows. Could you 2 check on it once I'm done? One nodded, the other agreed. What do you mean, holes in the wards? These wards aren't very good. Even a child could see through them. There are dozens of ways to penetrate them, some so subtle you wouldn't notice. Mrs. Bellamy raised her eyebrows. Mrs. Westbrook, care to explain? Kira blushed, clearly embarrassed. She sees more about magic than I do. Mrs. Bellamy seemed surprised. All right, if Kira's okay with it, I won't object. She made some of these wards after all. But only a temporary ward for this room, understood? Yes, Mrs. Bellamy. I began weaving the ley lines, bending them to my will. Kira watched in awe while Serafina inspected my work. After several minutes, Serafina nodded approvingly. That should be sufficient. Mrs. Bellamy looked impressed. You're quite talented. So, tell me about your mutation. Well, don't freak out, I'm not a mutant. Mrs. Bellamy looked concerned. Honey, being a mutant doesn't mean you're not human. No, Mrs. Bellamy, I'm not human either. Maybe it's easier if I show you. I moved to the center of the office and shifted back to my true form. With a small flame spat from my mouth, I spread my wings and leapt onto the table. I'm a dragon. Serafina and her twin jumped back in surprise. I could see the bond linking them as tears welled in one's eyes. A dragon baby? A real black dragon baby? That's impossible. It's not, though even brother was surprised I was born. Mrs. Bellamy's curiosity piqued. So you're not a mutant, but an actual dragon? Yes, Mrs. Bellamy. Dragons are born uniquely. The magic that creates us forms a soul that randomly inhabits one of the intelligent species. There's a small chance we overcome the difference before adulthood. If not, we don't become dragons. I was lucky to find brother before I was too old, and his magic helped me transform. He believes it wasn't random, that it was fate I was born. Okay, you're a dragon. So why send you to Poe Cottage? Because before becoming a dragon, I was a human boy. Mrs. Bellamy nodded thoughtfully. You don't seem troubled by the change? Not really. Sometimes thoughts tell me I should be, but who cares? I'm a dragon. Gender isn't a fixed thing in my life. Everyone stared. Kira gasped. Do you mean it can change? Yeah. Care to explain? Mrs. Bellamy asked. Just what I said. If I ever feel the need to reproduce and there are only females around, I might change back into a male. But as far as I know, I'm far too young for that to happen. You're joking? FaZe is going to kill you if she ever finds out, Kira said. Oh, FaZe clearly needs to accept her own gender, Serafina remarked. Her twin added, it's not like it's the worst thing that could happen to her. But she has both genders, so which one should she accept? Kira interrupted. Enough. Kira, you should head to bed soon. As for you, Mrs. Bellamy turned to me, I'd prefer we keep this under wraps for now. Not that it'll be possible for 4 years, but please don't roam around all day in your dragon form. Also, you'll be roomed with another student, room 221, next to one of the wing advisor rooms. Your roommate is Mira Mitchell-Simmons. I think you two will learn a lot from each other. Kira paled. But Simmons, Mrs. Bellamy. You can't do that, she's a dragon, and Simmons. Don't try to talk me out of it. This is the best solution for both of you. Yes, Mrs. Bellamy, Kira said, clearly unhappy. The twin girls exchanged glances. If she harms her in any way, I'm not sure I can keep my promise to Mrs. Caro about not harming a student, one said. The other added, if I break that promise, it'll be your fault. Serafina, is that a threat? No, it's a conclusion. Hey! Let me in. What are you talking about? Who's this Simmons girl? She's the daughter of a mutant named Darius. He's a baseline, but part of a notorious mercenary group called the Dragon Slayers. Don't worry, they don't actually hunt dragons as their name suggests, but they recently handled a very dangerous mutant. Oh great! So you really want me to keep my secret hidden? Well, yeah. Also, no mutant would want to room with the child of a mutant hunter. Since you're not a mutant, I figured it'd work out. Yeah, if you're right and her father doesn't actually hunt dragons. Enough of that. No, you should know that Poe Cottage is like a family. We all share something that makes us different from other academy students, even from mutants or dragons. Our students struggle with their genders, whether gay, lesbian, transsexual, changelings, or aggressively bisexual, and they face challenges being accepted in today's world. We want you to live a normal life here at Wadley Academy. So this secret stays between us cottages, letting you study without extra problems. Understand? Yes, Mrs. Bellamy. Okay, dear. Please turn back into your human form. Kira, show her where her room is, and please keep noise down. It's past curfew. I shifted back to human and followed Kira, Serafina, and her twin out of Mrs. Bellamy's office. Passing the junior students' rooms, Kira explained before turning right toward the stairs. I asked, Serafina, which one of you is actually Serafina? They glanced at each other and pointed at one another. Very funny, I said, looking at Kira. Just don't ask, she replied. This was interesting, I'd have to figure it out eventually. We passed the baths and headed upstairs to a common area with desks and sofas for studying. Then we turned left and walked down the hallway. These rooms to the left and right narrow the hall. Those are the wing advisor rooms. This is the girls' area, so you won't run into boys often. Your room's right next to the one on the right. Come on, Kira smiled. See you around, good night. I used my student ID to open the door and slipped inside. The fiery glow of my eyes lit the room. The left bed was already occupied by my roommate. She had long blonde hair and a curvy figure that might rival Kira's, if the thin sheets weren't deceiving me. I moved quietly to avoid waking her and placed my few belongings on the right bed. Who are you, and what are you doing in my room? A melodious voice spoke behind me. So much for being quiet. Hi, I'm Selene, your new roommate. Sorry for waking you. I turned to see the girl sitting upright on her bed, looking at me. Her eyes widened when she realized what I said. I have a roommate? That's great. I'm Mira Marie Simmons, but just call me Mira. So, where are you from? You don't look like you're from around here. Europe, maybe? What powers do you have? Wow, your eyes look like they're on fire. Perfect, putting a dragon with an energetic chatterbox in the same room. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Bellamy. Yes, thank you. Hi, Mira. Germany, that's right. And yes, I'm a naturally gifted magician. Kind of fancy, isn't it? What? She blinked, realizing I just answered all her questions. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That must have sounded weird, I'm just glad to finally have a roommate. I sat on my bed. Hey, it's fine. I was just a little surprised. She sighed with relief. So you're a magician? But natural, what does that mean? Hard to explain. I don't use spells like other magicians. I directly influence the flow of essence around me. That's fancy. Sounds like cheating. I like that. Need help with your luggage? Luggage? What luggage? Oh, I don't really have much. What? You're new here and already wearing your school uniform? Magic, remember? You're kidding. You made your clothes with magic? Yes, I do. That's surprising, I thought she was bad with mutants. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but some people got pretty disturbed when they heard I'd be roommates with you. Not that I care what others think, but why does someone as nice as you have such a bad reputation? Well, my dad, even though he's a mutant, is kind of a hunter of mutants he says are dangerous to humans. I'm not sure if that's bad, but everyone says we should protect our own, and that he's a traitor. Family problems, huh? Sounds rough. Yeah, he expects me to join him after school. Shit. Calm down, Selene. I have similar problems, my family is rare and overprotective of each other and our possessions. It's caused a lot of trouble. Bad memories? You wouldn't believe. Well, let's switch to something more interesting. Since we're in Po, where do you stand? Excuse me? Do you like boys or girls? People always tell me I'm a blonde. Hey! I crossed my arms playfully, then giggled and lay down on my bed. Honestly, I don't know. I used to be a boy. That was around Christmas last year, and I've tried not to think about it too much. Oh wow, 9 months already? How far along are you in the change? What? It doesn't happen instantly? Well, I was reborn, so yeah. I've been fully female for a while now. Body-wise, it feels like I was born this way. So, you like boys? Hard to say. I've thought about it, but I'm from a small village in Germany. There was only one other guy my age, and we were friends. Between girls, though, he's a chauvinist. I'm not sure if his brain is in his head or somewhere else. She giggled, and I couldn't help but join in. Oh my god, I haven't heard that one before. How about you? I asked. Me? Her face flushed cherry red. Well, I think I'm still in transition. Oh. I flipped onto my stomach, angled my legs to watch her, giving her a clear view of my cleavage. Tell me more. She stared at my cleavage. I figured she's still a boy down there. Interesting. Well, yeah. Looks like I still have my male parts and probably will for a while, unless the doctor's incompetent. And your preference? Girls, of course. Oh, girls, that's interesting. I watched her inner thighs bulge more. Shit, it's still working? I felt heat rush to my head. No, too soon. She doesn't know my secret. Don't do anything you'll regret. She seemed to think the same, trying hard not to look at my cleavage. Back to powers, anything besides magic? I don't know. Why don't you tell me yours? Maybe I'll remember. Her eyes widened. Wait, you didn't say you're telepathic too? I giggled. Yeah, kind of. I can only pick up basic thoughts, like when you say something, I hear it in my head. Scary, my roommate's a mind reader, she laughed. As for me, I'm nothing special, exemplar 3, stronger than most trained humans, and I have regeneration too. Supposedly, I can do magic, but I haven't figured that out yet. She glanced at the clock. Oh no, it's already 5:30. We need to wake up soon. Just go ahead and sleep, I don't really do that. I'll make sure you don't oversleep tomorrow. You don't sleep? Yeah, seems like I gather enough essence to stay awake. Cool. Alright, I'll try to get some rest. See you later, roomie. Man, I really wanted to show her who I truly am. I hate lying to her, she's kind and pretty cute. I tucked away the gold I'd hidden from her view and settled down to rest. If you appreciated this story and wish to show your support, don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content.